Good morning. I want you to think for a moment about the most successful, productive, and peaceful people you know. The ones who seem to have it all together. What's their secret? Is it talent, luck, a magical espresso machine? More often than not, the secret isn't in what they do, but when they start doing it. The secret is a quiet house, a sleeping world, and the first light of dawn. The secret is 5 a.m. For many, the idea of 5 a.m. is a punishment. It's the hour of dread, associated with groggy alarms and rushed mornings. But what if I told you that 5 a.m. is not a punishment? It is a gift you give to yourself. The concept of the golden hour is most often applied to the world of photography. That fleeting, magical time just after sunrise or before sunset, when the light is soft, radiant, and forgiving, making everything it touches look more beautiful, more profound. But this idea extends far beyond the lens of a camera. It finds a profound and deeply personal application in the quiet, undisturbed minutes of the early morning, specifically in the hour that begins at 5 a.m. This is not merely a time on the clock. It is a state of being, a sanctuary of silence carved out of the relentless noise of modern life. It is a daily gift, a personal golden hour, and its value is immeasurable. When the world is still shrouded in sleep, something alchemical happens in the mind and spirit of the person who is awake. The usual cacophony of existence, the constant ping of notifications, the rumble of early traffic, the distant sounds of televisions and radios, even the low hum of expectation from the people we share our lives with. All of it falls away. In its place is a silence so deep and so complete that it becomes almost a tangible presence. This silence is not empty, it is fertile ground. It is the blank canvas before the first stroke of paint, the empty page before the first word is written, the quiet stage before the curtain rises. In this silence, you are not being acted upon by the world. You are not in a defensive posture, bracing for the next demand, the next piece of bad news, the next request that pulls you away from your own priorities. For this one precious hour, you are the sole architect of your reality. You hold the chisel, and the block of marble that is your day is yet unshaped. This gift of time is fundamentally different from any other hour you might find later in the day. Time found in the evening, for instance, is often compromised. Your mental energy is depleted, your willpower is at its lowest ebb after a long day of decisions and distractions. That evening hour is often spent in a state of recovery, of passive consumption, scrolling through a screen, watching a show, simply trying to decompress. There is nothing wrong with this, but it is not the same as the generative, creative potential of the morning. The morning hour is fueled by rest and possibility. It is proactive, not reactive. It is about building and becoming rather than unwinding from what has already been. So what does one actually do with this gift? The beauty is that the activity is almost secondary to the state of being. The primary benefit is the act of claiming this time for yourself, of stating to the universe, and more importantly to yourself, that you and your growth are important. The specific actions are the brushstrokes on that canvas, and they can take infinite forms. For one person, this golden hour is a temple for the body. It is a time for a run through sleeping neighborhoods, where the only sound is the rhythm of your own breath and the beat of your feet on the pavement. It is a time for yoga, stretching into the dawn, feeling the connection between muscle, breath, and intention without the pressure of a class schedule or the gaze of others. It is a workout that floods the system with endorphins, setting a metabolic and emotional tone of vitality that will resonate for hours. For another, this hour is a library for the mind. It is the space to finally read those books that promise knowledge and perspective, the ones that are not for work or for show, but for the pure expansion of your inner world. It is a time to journal, to untangle the knotted threads of thought from the day before, to pour gratitude onto a page, or to simply dialogue with yourself on paper, often discovering solutions and insights that the noise of the day had obscured. It is a time for meditation, to sit in the stillness and observe the chaotic parade of thoughts without getting swept away by it, to train the mind to be a calm center amidst the coming storm. For the creator, The entrepreneur, the dreamer, this hour is a sacred workshop. It is the one guaranteed period where you can work on your project, not your bosses. You can write that novel, one painful, beautiful paragraph at a time. You can sketch the design for a new product, code the backbone of an app, or build the strategic plan for a business that exists for now only in your heart and in the pages of your notebook. In this space, there is no one to tell you it's impossible, no emails to shatter your concentration, no urgent task to pull you away from what is truly important. This is where legacy is built in the quiet, consistent, daily increments of effort that the sleeping world never sees. This golden hour is a gift because it is unconditional and uncontested. It asks for nothing in return but your presence. It doesn't compete with your family responsibilities, your work deadlines, or your social obligations. It exists entirely outside of them. By the time the rest of your household begins to stir, by the time the first email of the day lands in your inbox, you have already filled your own cup. You have already done something solely for your own betterment. This creates a foundation of inner wealth that cannot be easily depleted by the external demands that will inevitably follow. You move through the rest of your day not from a place of scarcity, trying to snatch moments for yourself, but from a place of abundance, because you have already given yourself the greatest gift possible, the time and space to become the person you are meant to be. The default setting for modern life is reaction. From the moment the standard day begins, we are launched into a state of constant responsiveness. The alarm jolts us awake. And the first instinct for millions is to reach for the smartphone, a small glowing rectangle that contains the entire world's agenda, all of it demanding immediate attention. It's a deluge of input emails that accumulated overnight, news alerts highlighting global crises, social media notifications broadcasting the curated highlights of everyone else's lives. Before you've even had a sip of water, before you've taken a single conscious breath, your mind is no longer your own. It has been hijacked. It is already playing defense, already processing other people's priorities, other people's emergencies, other people's opinions. Your day has not begun, it has been ambushed. You are in a state of perpetual catch-up, a psychological posture of bracing for impact, and this sets a tone that can resonate through every subsequent hour, leaving you feeling drained, scattered, and powerless. Now imagine a different beginning. The alarm goes off at 5 a.m., but there is no phone to grab. The world outside is dark and silent. There is no deluge because you have not yet opened the floodgates. In this profound quiet, you are presented with a blank slate. This is the critical, transformative shift from a life of reaction to a life of control. The first hour of your day is no longer about what you must respond to, it is about what you decide to initiate. This is not a subtle difference in scheduling, it is a fundamental revolution in psychology and personal power. When you start your day by acting upon the world, even in small, symbolic ways, you wire your brain for agency. You tell your subconscious mind in no uncertain terms that you are the author of your day, not a character being written by external forces. This proactive start is the mental equivalent of building a fortress before the battle begins. Inside the walls of that first quiet hour, you are laying the groundwork for the chaos to come. You are not just reading a book, you are fortifying your mind with new ideas and perspectives that will help you solve problems later. You are not just exercising, you are building the physical and emotional resilience that will allow you to handle stress without crumbling. You are not just meditating, you are cultivating a calm, observational center that can watch the storm of distractions without being swept away by it. Most powerfully, you are planning, you are looking at the day ahead, its meetings, its deadlines, its potential pitfalls, and you are creating a strategy. You are identifying the one or two most important tasks, the big rocks, that must be accomplished for the day to be a success. By doing this, you move from being a passive participant in your to-do list to being its master. You have drawn a map, and now you can navigate rather than being blindly pushed by currents. The feeling this generates is not merely one of being organized. It is a deep-seated sense of confidence and command. When you walk into your kitchen at 6:30 a.m., already having accomplished a personal goal, you carry yourself differently. When the first email of the day does arrive, you read it not with a sense of anxious urgency, but with a calm, discerning mind. You can assess it against the plan you have already set. Does this align with my most important tasks? Is this truly urgent or merely loud? You have a framework for decision making that you built yourself in the clarity of the morning, and this framework acts as a filter, protecting your time and focus from the trivial many so you can devote yourself to the vital few. The distractions and emergencies that once derailed your entire day now become manageable obstacles. They are deviations from a plan, not the destruction of a void. You can handle them and then return to your charted course because you know where you are going. This shift creates a profound separation between you and the reactive majority. You can almost see it in people throughout the day. The harried looks, the frantic multitasking, the sense of being overwhelmed by an inbox. They are playing an endless game of whack-a-mole, and the moles are winning. You, however, are playing a different game entirely. You are building a structure. The constant pings and interruptions lose their power to trigger a stress response because you have already defined what success looks like for your day, and it has nothing to do with achieving inbox zero. It has to do with completing the important tasks you identified in the sanctity of the dawn. This is the ultimate form of control, the control over your attention and your intentions. It is the understanding that your most precious resource is not time, but focused energy. And by starting your day in a state of purposeful action, you dedicate that resource to what you value most. You cease to be a servant to the loudest voice and become the curator of your own life's work, one deliberate, peaceful morning at a time. The world will always be noisy, always demanding a reaction. But when you start from a place of control, you get to choose which demands are worthy of your response, and you meet them not from a place of scarcity and panic, but from a reservoir of calm, purposeful strength.